Hi, welcome back to my channel. I just got to the gym. I'm going to go hit upper glutes because it's Saturday yet again. I feel like I film on Saturdays probably more often than not when it comes to vlogs. So if you're watching this and you're like, this girl only trains upper glutes, I promise I don't. I promise. Anyway, I don't know if it's the content I've been consuming. I wouldn't be surprised just because the content I have been consuming is very geared around centering and, how do I phrase this? Like being your best self. not in like a cliche self-help way. Like I'm reading a business book and then I did listen to the Mel Robbins podcast, but it was more instructional than self-helpy. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm butchering this, but I wanted to kind of just like preface, I guess, where this came from, where my current state. I'm gonna try to start over. So basically what I'm talking about is I realized as I was driving to the gym, and again, I think it's because of the content I'm consuming, which really just shows how important content you consume is. I realized that I gave not advice, and not even like criticism necessarily, but just direction to a friend the other day about a business thing that she said she was stuck on. And I was like, brother, you've got to stop listening to other people's input. Like, trust yourself. You're sitting on something that's so not important and allowing it to take up so much of your mental capacity. Like, we need to move on, essentially, was like the hard love situation that I gave her. But as I realized that I'm not stressed about my business per se. I am stressed about random stuff that I've been telling myself I was going to finish and do for months. And so it has been harboring a lot of my emotional capacity and my ability to show up for other things that I want to do because I'm so fixated on the fact that I haven't completed these items. So that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to finish these freaking items. So it is 11:09 on a Saturday. I normally go to the gym way later in the afternoon. I did just finish my pre-workout and it didn't hit, which was surprising. I thought I was going to be feeling the tinglies by now. It didn't hit, which never happens. So I'm gonna go willpower this workout, but then I am going to, this gentleman is so close to my car. All right, I got like in a car accident the other day, and fortunately my girl Cheesecake just like bounced back physically. Like she physically bounced back. It didn't dent my car, which is amazing, but it was still jarring nonetheless. So anytime someone's near my car, I'm like, don't do that. Anyway, so I'm gonna go again willpower out this workout, and then I am going to go get a car wash over at the gas station right there, right next to my gym, like gym, gas station. And I have been sitting on this for so freaking long. I've been talking about this for probably a month since the first time I got a cold, so maybe even late November. My tires are draining of air. I need to get air in my tires. I'm almost out of gas and I desperately need a car wash. So that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know why I've been sitting on it. I don't know if it's like, I tell myself it's the money, but then I know I'm gonna spend the money later. So I feel like it's just an excuse. And then every time it's kind of chilly or I leave the gym, I'm like, oh, I'm tired or it's cold. I don't wanna do that outside. And it's like, no, we're getting it done today. So that's the first 3 things on my to-do list of things that I'm absolutely freaking getting done. Car wash, gas, filling up my freaking tires. So very excited for that. I'm just excited to feel like the relief of having this stuff done. It does not need to freaking burden me anymore. And I really encourage you to write down the list of things that are just stressing you out and get them done in a singular day. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, I'm out of the gym. So I'm gonna go, like I said, to the gas station and then I think I'm gonna go get the Sabrina Carpenter shaken brown sugar espresso drink. I'm gonna look it up though for calories because I don't want it to be like a whole meal. So if it's like a whole meal calories, I'm not gonna get it just because I'll inevitably be hungry later if I have a whole meal of calories in a drink. So we don't drink our calories in this house. Do you hear me? Okay, I'll see you soon. You guys, nap for 4 hours. I feel so sick. That did not work in my favor at all. I didn't do any of the other stuff that I had in my head as like ways to feel better about the stress in your life. That's life. Can't do anything about that. I am someone that has never been able to successfully nap. I always wake up feeling like this. I just have been so tired And it's funny because when I went to go nap, I was like, you're not gonna get the stuff done that you wanted. And then I woke up and it was dark. Trying to like get a grip because I had things that I wanted to get done, and even if I can get a couple of those things done, that would be preferred than just calling this Saturday what it is. I do feel a little bit nauseous, so I don't know what to do. I feel like I need to eat something, but the idea of eating sounds awful. I do want to make cupcakes for Justin that are like CU Boulder colors. So I think I'm just going to Mel Robbins 5-second rule, call it, and put some shoes on and go to the store down the street so that I can get hopefully some associated colors. I guess before we do that, before we leave, I have to run the dishwasher. All this is cleaned out. Look at it. Hi. What's so funny is he's sitting here meowing at me and we were just cuddling on the couch for that entire time. This is my baby. This is my other baby. You smell like fish for some reason. That's so weird. What were you eating? All right, so let's go to the store. I didn't show you guys how clean she looked. Slay. So clean. I love it. I would get these. They're super cute. I think I'm gonna get this because it has like cute white, gold, and then these really pretty pearlescent. So that'll be really cute. So I also picked up a sugar-free, what flavor is this? Lime cucumber Gatorade. I think these are so slept on. I think this flavor in particular, when my friends try it, they say I'm a grandma, and maybe that's true. So if you have grandma taste buds, look into this. It's so delicious. I have the butter out that I'm gonna use just because it needs to be room temperature, and although that's not happening, we're hoping that at least having it out does something more. The times that I've left it in the box, they all keep each other cold and then it's like compacted, so it never works out in my favor. And then this time around, I'm actually making a box cake. I think I mentioned that earlier, but I bought one and essentially found out that I knew how to make it because I was nervous. I didn't trust my baking skills. So you make the boxed cake. We got it at Whole Foods. I've never had a Whole Foods box cake. It's their brand. Hope it's good. I feel like as long as it's like a moist chocolate cake, it should be fine. Should be fine. This is the one that we got. It's like classic chocolate 365. I don't know. Also, I've always made this with a hand mixer and it feels so dramatic to get Hecate out for this. I'm actually having a difficult time opening. This is not what I was trying to say. I'm typically making a cake with a design in mind, and I've never made a batch of cupcakes with the intention for it to look pretty. So I don't know, I'm a little bit worried about that. I got out my little silver bowl. That looks so pretty. Looks like a CD. Gorgeous. Anyway, I have a 12 or a 24 cupcake tin, and then I have a 12 massive cupcakes tin. Actually, I just found out that I also have a normal sized one. So, crisis averted. I watched that movie with Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield. Side note, didn't really care for the movie. I cry at everything and I didn't cry at that movie. So I thought it was gonna be way better than it was. I feel like they wanted me to be sad about a couple that I didn't have any relations with, and I don't know, like I didn't feel like the movie built them up as much as it needed to be done in order for you to care that she had cancer and was dying. Which sounds horrible, and I understand that. It is what it is. Bring that up, not just complain about the movie, but because I learned in that movie, because she's supposed to be a chef, or she is a chef, weird way to say that. I learned in that movie that when you crack eggs, it's supposed to be on a flat surface, and I've always done it on a cornered surface. So I cracked my eggs. I don't think I'm very maternal, but when it comes to my friends and them not having people in their corner that celebrate them, I'm just not that friend that's gonna allow you to go uncelebrated. Some might argue that I already celebrated Justin when he got in, but he's also starting on Monday and like starting school on Monday, and he's at orientation on Friday. And so when you're feeling this bit of excitement and it's something that feels really huge to you, I actually kind of get frustrated that people are like, oh, well, I celebrated you or congratulated you or had this moment and touch point with you the one time, so I celebrated it. And it's like, no, this is like a huge milestone. When we have weddings, we do like the bachelorette party and the wedding and like the bridal party and all this stuff and bridal brunch. Like, I just feel like we prolong and elongate like baby and wedding conversations, but not just like conversations of success. And him getting into this program was huge. And yeah, I don't know, it's just like, it's such a big deal. And so I'm like, of course I'm making you cupcakes. He said it wasn't necessary. He was like, just make the cupcakes, don't even worry about making them look like See You Boulder. And I was like, please, that is not how you celebrate someone. I also find, specifically from my experience as well, I didn't have any friends that made me feel like I was selflessly loved and valued just existing until I met my Clo Bear in college. And I'm so eternally grateful because she really framed platonic relationships for me to be this like healthy, supportive, kind place to land. And so that relationship that I have with her has really formed all future relationships since I've met her. And something that I realized is that until I met her and like that friend group at that job at the time that I met those people, there were a lot of other people involved that made me feel selflessly loved for the first time. And like I said, just like a platonic friendship. And I think a lot of people settle for friends. And so this is your note to not settle for a friend group. If at any point they make you feel not valued and loved and cherished exactly as you are while holding you accountable and not letting you be a piece of crap person, like, don't have them in your life. Seriously, if you don't leave a relationship or you don't leave a room hanging out with someone that you're spending time with, you're investing your time. Your time is your most important asset. If you're not growing and feeling like truly cherished and loved in that space and seen, then like get out of the space. Don't return. Leave like it's a horror movie. Like, get out. Don't let them get you. I think it said we need 2/3 cup of room temperature water. No. If I am mixing all of my wet ingredients before I add the mix in this giant cup. I don't even know where I got it. I don't remember buying it. I also don't have a great memory, so that's not saying a lot, but I am in love with it. And I saw one, I don't know if it's at Michael's or Target. I think it's at Target. It's a 6-cup one. So this is a 2-cup. So like, imagine 6 cups, you wouldn't have to like, so a lot of the reason I'm saying that, a lot of cakes that I make will require 2 or 2.5 free cups of flour. So imagine just having a cup that you put all the flour in. So cool. I'm gonna reference the book that I was reading earlier that I talked about in the car that had me on this train of like productivity. That wasn't even the purpose of the book. The book I'm reading, I almost just dropped water all over. This is Justin's doing. Boy brain. Fills up a thing of water, literally didn't drink it. But I'm reading Sweet Success by Candace, what's her last name? Nelson. And it's the first time in a really long time I have felt seen by a book. And I woke up this morning, did my morning routine, and for some reason I was just like I'm feeling very in tune with my intuition today. And I was like, you know what, don't pick up your phone. Normally I pick up my phone and I don't look at it until I get to the treadmill to do my cardio. And I was like, you know what, like, go read today. And I don't do that. I don't read and walk at the same time. I find it kind of confusing. I also am so clumsy. So if you've seen me fall while standing perfectly still, you would understand that I should not be doing this. But I was reading this on the treadmill and I haven't felt seen by a book that I just like really valued the content, and I couldn't even tell you how long. I want to sit down and do nothing but read this. So I haven't felt that way about a book in a long time. It's about entrepreneurship and just like, if you feel like you have a passion and you're not exactly sure what for, or you are sure what for, but you kind of are just like, I'm not sure how to approach this. I feel like this was very like divine timing that I found this book, because she made a video about this when it was released, which was years ago. And I came up on my For You page, even though I follow her, like this old video. So I was just like, okay. So when I bought it, I thought it was a brand new book, the way that it was shown to me. So the fact that it's an older book, and I don't know, I just love it. I did get it on Amazon. It was not fast shipping. I think I got it in like 3 weeks from when I ordered ordered it, and I don't think it was very cheap either. Yeah, it was like $29. This book's like $30. A little bit on the higher side for a book, but I can see myself reading this more than once, which is wild because I've only done that once in my life. And that was Buy Yourself the Fucking Lilies. That book is incredible. That book is incredible. That book changed my life. I seriously recommend that book to anyone. It's a little bit heavier if you have any like familial trauma, but I think everyone kind of does. And the way she speaks about things is so like your friend talking to you, and her perspective makes heavy conversations really easy to consume. This is Tara Schuster, by the way. Just phenomenal, phenomenal. I like finished that book and emailed her and was like, hey, can I do any remote work for you at all? Because I love you. She was like, I don't take remote workers, but thank you. The oven's ready. I'm gonna stop talking about books, but the whole reason I was getting into this thing this morning about like just trying to fix the things that were like really weighing on me is because there's already so much going on in our lives, and we can produce so much more when we're intentional about what we're consuming. And consuming this has already positively impacted me in a sense where I was just like, you know what, the stuff that's on my to-do list that's causing me stress, it needs to get off the to-do list. It needs to have like an intentional stress day where we attack the things that are causing us stress, because you and I both know that those things always only take like 15 minutes. But also just identifying them so that I can approach them. Having those things identified makes it feel so much more approachable. You are a reflection of your space in terms of like how messy and clean it is. And I know that that's not completely available and accessible to everyone to always have a clean space. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like if you're feeling overwhelmed, look around you first and then figure that out so that you can think. Because I genuinely believe you cannot have a complete formed, beautiful thought that doesn't weigh on you if your space is cluttered. Now we're going to go back to the cake. So to get the same scoop on all of the cupcakes so that they're relatively the same size, I'm gonna get a measuring cup and scoop them into here. Last but not least, before these bad boys go into the oven, I just slam them against the counter for a little bit just so that the air bubbles come out. And a lot of people ask me like, how do I get my cake to never be dry? I'm neurotic and I watch it every 5 minutes. Like I never set the timer for more than I would say like 12 minutes. And that's only if the cake says it takes 45 minutes to bake. So I typically third whatever the time is, and then I just keep doing increments of that third until they're perfect. I've had a couple of people ask like why I don't do professional baking. The time that baking takes. I also have arthritis in my wrist, so sometimes if I do too many cakes in a period of time, my wrist really, really hurts. But also, I love baking for people that I love. I don't know if I necessarily would like it on a large scale. It would have to be something that I was kind of doing for fun. I think eventually what would be my ideal scenario is if I was like making it as like a content creator or had my own business or something where my income was supplemented to where baking a cake didn't hurt me financially. Making a cake for someone's around like $50 to $60 if you're buying all the ingredients, so it just can rack up really quickly, especially if you have one astrology sign that's attracted to you. You will find yourself making cakes literally every week or twice a week. I think, like I said, my dream scenario would be having a secure income and feeling like if I did have a following or something of that nature where I could kind of like raffle off, be like, okay, I feel like making a cake. If you have a friend or a situation, celebration that you're wanting a raffled cake for, like, let me make you a cake. And then I would just have like that one-on-one client where they'd get the cake for free, and it would just be really fun for me to be able to do that for someone's special occasion, whatever the special occasion is, without feeling the stress of someone constantly having me make a cake for their special occasion. Because I did that one time, I had one person pay me for a cake and never again. It was so stressful. I like loved the outcome of it, but I quite literally was so anxious I almost forgot to put sugar in the cake. Sugar in the cake. I'm glad I tasted the freaking recipe, or I tasted the batter before I put it in the oven, because it was disgusting. It tasted like really bad bread. I'm also just a really big advocate ever since I decided that I was not going to pursue a career that didn't fulfill me. I know a lot of people give the advice that like your job doesn't have to fulfill you. I disagree. Maybe if that's not what you want out of your life, but if you look at the logistics, just like the data that's been collected of work, you spend most of your life at work. And so why wouldn't you want that to be a source of fulfillment? I never want to work for the weekend. I never want to live for the weekend. I never want to exist for my time off, because your time off is always going to be a fraction of what you spend clocked in. So I don't know, I can't get behind the train. I know it works for some people, and if it helps you love your life more, amazing, keep thinking that way. But I just like, my passion's not in baking cakes. My passion is like bringing joy to other people, and I love baking cakes. I think it's very fun, but doing your big scale just isn't desired for me. So this is Chatty. I named her honestly like so randomly, and then a bunch of witches on TikTok said Chatty was calling to me. So there's a lot more details in the middle of that story, but essentially that's what happened. Basically, I'm a witch and I make a damn good buttercream. Have you guys come back when I decided to decorate it? I don't know, I like watching videos for cake decorating, and I never even considered filming it myself until this week. No time like the present. No, because this icing might be the best icing I've ever made. So the cupcakes themselves are cooled off. They don't look the prettiest. They kind of look wonky with icing. It literally won't matter. I found this photo on Pinterest. I feel like, you know, this is achievable. We can do this. So that's gonna be my cupcakes. I think they could have been prettier, but they also could have been uglier. My, again, icing consistency really controlled this outcome. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, if you could please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe, because it really supports my channel. I will see you soon, because I post twice a week. Okay, bye.